Hey guys, welcome back to the 44-Day Challenge. I'm Scott Duke. You're inside the Wellstand studio. Today is day 27, a very exciting day because we were reviewing a fantastic book, a book that basically got me into the career of helping people transition their businesses. And the book is called Built to Sell by John Warrillow, an individual who has dedicated, after selling some of his own companies, the latter half of his career in helping people transition their businesses, but more importantly, helping people come to the realization that their business may not be sellable and there are a few things they need to do to make sure that it can sell. This book is broken down into a very readable format. It is a fable, and it follows an individual called Alex Stapleton as he comes to that conclusion that although his business is profitable, it may not be attractive to the marketplace when he goes to sell it, and it takes him through that journey of getting his business to a point where it can be sellable by making a few major changes. I like the quote at the back of the book here that sums up how this journey starts for Alex, and it says, like Alex Stapleton, many business owners find themselves trapped in an unsellable business. Customers ask to deal with the owner becomes personally involved in servicing the customer, reinforcing the customer's reliance on the owner, and the cycle continues. A business reliant on its owner is unsellable, so the owner becomes trapped in the business. I highly recommend this book to anybody who feels trapped in their business. It's $16 Canadian, $15 American. Very worthwhile investment of your dollars. And what I'm gonna do is just assume that you're gonna go out and grab this book and start to follow some of John's teachings. But I'm gonna go through the 15 tips that he has out of this book. And that's what we're gonna pull out of today's lesson. So tip number 1, don't generalize, specialize. Tip number 2, relying too heavily on one client is risky and will turn off potential buyers. Tip number 3, owning a process makes it easier to pitch and puts you in control. Tip number 4, don't become synonymous with your company. If buyers aren't confident your business can run without you in charge, they won't make their best offer. I think you guys today are probably figuring out what the major takeaway of this book is. Tip number 5, avoid the cash suck. Once you standardize your service, charge upfront and use progress billing to create a positive cash flow cycle. Tip number 6, don't be afraid to say no to projects. This is a big one. It's talked about a fair bit in this book. If you keep saying yes to projects, you'll get pulled away from what your company is actually built around and you'll lose focus. So tip number 7, take some time to figure out how many pipeline prospects will likely lead to sales. Document that so that your potential buyers can see future potential in revenues. Tip number 8, 2 sales reps are always better than 1. Tip number 9, hire people who are good at selling products, not services. Tip number 10, ignore your profit and loss statement in the year you make the switch to standardizing offering, even if it means you and your employees will have to forego a bonus that year. You need to, before the few years that you go to sell your company, you need to rejig. You want that bottom line, we've talked about this in other steps, you want that bottom line to shine. And it's all the stuff that you've been paying personally for out of your company, ratchet that out, put it to the bottom line. You're gonna end up paying more taxes in the last couple of years, but you're gonna get that back at the time that you sell. Tip number 11, you need at least 2 years of financial statements reflecting your use of your standardized offering model before you sell your company. Tip number 12, build a management team and offer them a long-term incentive plan that rewards their personal performance and loyalty. You need loyal staff, loyal management that are going to transition beyond the point of sale because the buyer needs to know those employees are going to stick with the company. We're going to talk about that actually in tomorrow's day because the book that I read for day 28 it talks about that a fair bit. Tip number 13, find an advisor for whom you will be neither their largest nor their smallest client. Make sure they know your industry. Tip number 14, avoid an advisor who offers to broker a discussion with a single client. You want to ensure there's competition for your business and avoid being used as a pawn for your advisor to curry favor with his or her best client. We've talked about this before in the 44 days. You want to have multiple offers. You want to definitely make sure you're working with a brokerage house or investment banker, depending on the size of your business, that's going to attract multiple bids because that's going to help you get a higher price when you go to sell. And tip number 15, think big. Write a 3-year business plan that paints a picture of what is possible for your business. Oh, I thought there's 15, there's 16 tips. We're gonna keep going, you're getting 2 bonus tips. Tip number 16, if you wanna be a sellable product-oriented business, you need to use the language of one. Change words like client to customer and firm to business. And tip number 17, don't issue stock options to retain employees after the acquisition. Instead, use a simple stay bonus that offers the members of your management team a cash reward if you sell your company. Okay, that's a lot of information. There's not enough context in what I said, just saying those tips. So it's a good idea to get the book. I can't get the information out in the video. Another good tip, and we're gonna put a link below, is that John has a program called the Value Builder Program. So if you're watching some of these videos or you're doing some research outside of these videos on selling your company and you realize there's a few things that you need to do to make your company sellable, the Value Builder Program that John offers is a really good way to guide yourself over the course of a year into increasing the value of your company. All right, guys, that was day 27, a bit of a fire hose of information. Feel free to rewind it to get through all of those 17 tips again. Thanks again to our author, John Warrillow, for today's book. And we'll see you again tomorrow on day 28 when we review another book and pull out the great information to get it out to you guys so you are better prepared when you go to sell your company. Thanks. See you tomorrow.